So, my dog is eating a little bone in the background, so if you hear chewing, that's what it's from. And I just look like a little bit homeless. I have my hair pulled back in this clip because it's summer and I never wore my hair down in the summer. It is so freaking hot here. Wow, do I have a lot to tell you about. Like, I like don't even feel like setting up my camera or anything. Like, this is just filmed on my iPhone. And today is the first, well, technically the second day that we saw our little baby. And I am like kind of freaking out. Like, today has just been such an eventful day and I really just want to remember it. So this is why I want to do that video. And I also just kind of want to update you guys. It's been so long since I like sat down and actually did a video. So yeah, I'm so excited. So many things happened this morning. So we had our appointment at 8 a.m. and I had made an appointment in the very north of Tel Aviv because I did a spur of the moment appointment in a city next to us that was very close, and the lady was just absolutely horrible, and I wanted to forget that ever happened and act like I never did a sonogram before. So I just went to a guy that I was recommended from a friend, and I'm so thankful that I did because he was so nice and he was so informative and he was so helpful, and I'm just so grateful that the experience was good. Because whenever, you know, in universal healthcare and in general, yeah, you don't always get nice doctors, but in Israel, it is so hard to find a lot of nice doctors. Like, you have your few here or there. You have people that are nice and you know that like you got recommendations, and those people are usually booked because it is just so hard to make appointments for anything. Like, I called today to make an appointment for, so anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Rewind. So we went into our appointment 8 a.m. and the doctor was kind of like, so what can I do for you? Like, they don't really understand why you're there at first. So I was like, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm 15 weeks along. I don't really understand what I made the appointment for. I just knew that I needed to see another doctor soon, and I wanted to, you know, come to you because you were recommended by a friend. So he said, okay, no problem. I'll explain everything to you in English, which is super hard to find, which is another reason why I picked this doctor. And he was so relaxed. Like, there was no rush. There was no stress. You could tell that he was just chill. The only problem, and it wasn't even a problem, the only thing was that, like, obviously we had to have masks on because, like, still in healthcare system you need to wear a mask, and everywhere else you don't, but healthcare systems you do. So because he had a mask on and he was speaking so calmly and just so chill, no problem. He didn't have any assertiveness in his voice. So as much as I love that, it was a little bit hard to hear him. So I was trying to like make everything out, and then he was speaking to me in English, and Ofer was not fully understanding everything, but then if he spoke in Hebrew, I wouldn't fully understand anything. So it was kind of like a back and forth thing, and he was so nice, and he explained everything to us, and he kind of went over the tests that we need. And I said, you know, I'm not doing any genetic testing. It's not important for me. And he said, like, I think it was him or the nurse, they said, why? And I said, because it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if there's anything wrong with this baby. This baby's my baby, and I'm keeping this baby literally no matter what. So he's like, listen, if you're not going to have an abortion because of abnormalities or defects or something like that, he's like, you don't really need to get the test anyways. It's not a big deal. So like, okay, good. So I had already missed so many like different tests that you're supposed to get earlier on in your pregnancy anyways, because I was like, I'm not doing them. I told Ofer like the last time that we went to the doctor, she gave us a list of things, and she just was not clear at all about what we needed, what we didn't. Just said, I'm gonna give you a paper, you'll see everything, go talk to the nurse. And I'm like, okay. So we just left. We didn't know what we were doing. And this time He went through step by step and told us everything that he recommended and that he thinks we need. And the main things were the anatomy scan, the early anatomy scan, and the late anatomy scan. So I was just planning on doing the late anatomy scan. The difference between the two is that like one is covered under insurance and one is not. So the doctor told me that he believes that the late anatomy scan is more important than the early one. Honestly, it didn't matter to me either way. I just wanted to know the gender of the baby because I'm going home in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm going home in 5 days. Wow. So I'm going home in like 5 days. And I just wanted to know the gender of the baby so I can tell my parents in person because they're gonna miss so much of this pregnancy and I just didn't want them to miss that. Like I didn't want to have to tell them that over the phone. This is why I'm going home anyways, you know, it's my brother's wedding, yeah, but I'm also going home because I really want to tell my parents in person that I'm pregnant. So they don't know and neither do Ulfr's parents. Okay, that's such another story. I literally have so much going on right now. Okay, guys, I feel like you're a little bit crooked. Is this wrong? Is that right? Okay. So, where was I? He told me early anatomy scan and late one. So the early one is performed between 14 and 17 weeks and I'm 15 weeks, 5 days. So technically, I don't really think I'm 15 weeks until Monday. No. I don't think I'm going to be 16. I'm supposed to be 16 weeks on Saturday, but I don't really think I'm going to be 16 weeks until Monday because I think I conceived a little bit later. I'm not like a exactly 14 days after my period type of girl. I know when I ovulated, so I'm like very sure. But by Israeli system, they use your last period. So in their system, I'm 15 weeks, 5 days right now. And when I was looking for an appointment, it was like, no, we don't have anything until November. And I'm like, November? Like, obviously I'm not gonna wait until November because by the time November comes, I'm gonna need the late scan by then. So I called around a few places and one place, they were pressuring me into doing an appointment on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, at like, I forget what time, but they said it's in a private, it's like via the private insurance. So basically the way the insurance works here, so like everything is covered under insurance here, but the way that insurance works is like if you don't go to a doctor that is covered under your insurance, I guess that's what it's called. I'm trying to translate it in my head, but I guess you would just call it insurance, like your type of insurance. I don't know. There's like different companies, different insurance companies, and you pick one and like you stick with that one. And my insurance company, I get a list of doctors that do the early anatomy scan for 57 shekels. So it's not free, but one of them is free. So it's usually the late one that is free and the early one you pay 57 shekels for. So if I don't do the free one, if I don't do the early one for 57 shekels, I have to do the private one for like 450 shekels is what it comes out as after deductibles and things. It could cost like 1,000 shekels, which is a lot. Yeah, it's like over $300 basically. So I was like, we're not trying to do that. Like, I want to know the gender, but I don't want to spend that much money on the gender. So, and I also just wanted to check all my options because I had a feeling that there would be something. Long story short, I called a place right after I got off the phone with them saying, you know, we hope this appointment will be available if you don't make it now, but it will cost you 450 shekels. And I was like, oh, let me just call you back. So I didn't call them because I called someone else right after and they were located in Tel Aviv and it was my first location in Tel Aviv. And I just like was going down the list. They gave me a list and I was just going down the list. I hit this number and a guy answered and I'm like, did I get to the right place? Like, is this the place that I think it is? He's like, yeah, what do you need? And he was like, or he said, yeah, let me call you right back. And I'm like, no, I just need, no, he said, yeah, what do you need? I told him what I needed. He said, okay, let me check and I'll call you back. And I said, no, well, I need it for the next like day or two because I'm going on a flight soon. And I know this is very last minute, but like, I was just wondering if you had any last minute appointments. He goes, oh yeah, we have today at 5:30. what? And I'm like, okay, great. And I was like, well, like, what else? And he's like, just come today at 5:30. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, do I need to bring anything besides my card? And he's like, because like we have like an insurance card that you like scan that has all of your information on. And he said, no. And I said, okay, thanks, bye. I didn't give him any information, nothing. Like I was so excited that he had this appointment. It was just so funny how it happened, because I hung up the phone and my boyfriend looks at me and goes, my fiance, he looks at me and he's like, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you tell him your name or anything? Like, how does he know that it's you? Like, how is he gonna know it's you? And I was like, I don't know. I asked him if he just needed my card and he said yeah. And I was like, okay, great. And that was it. Like, I didn't say anything. I didn't say my identification number, nothing. And he was like, Sam, what is wrong with you? So I tried calling the number back and he didn't answer. And I called like 3 times and he still didn't answer. And I was like freaking out. Like, no, I don't want to lose this appointment. Like, it's so hard to find an appointment during like last minute like this. So I called, there was 2 numbers on the list, like that were connected to the list. One was like a person's cell phone number and one was like a company number. Like, so businesses have a different prefix than cell phone numbers. So I knew that it was a business and I knew that one was like a cell phone. And that's why when I called it, like, I was like, did I get to the right place? Like, I was confused. So I called the other number. Actually, Ofer called the other number, my fiance. And he said, he got to someone right away and he's like, hey, my fiance just spoke with someone. We're trying to get her an appointment for, you know, the test, the early test. We were wondering if there's anything today. We heard there was something today. And she's like, okay, she does everything right. She's like, what's your name? What's your ID number? What's your date of birth? You know, going through all these things. And then she goes, okay, yeah, we have an appointment at 5:45 today. I guess I had taken the 5:30 one, like me, but like he didn't know it was me. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused still at that, but the 5:30 appointment wasn't there anymore. Then she's like, yeah, we have one at 5:45. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, we'll be there. So she's like, okay, she tells us the location. We have no clue because we're not super familiar with Tel Aviv. Neither of us have ever lived there. I've only lived like in a suburb outside of Tel Aviv. So she tells us the location. We didn't care. We were willing to drive literally to Haifa, which is like an hour and a half away. So we were happy to drive anywhere. We just wanted the appointment before I left. So we made the appointment and we looked at each other like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be with you all day at work, because I had went to work. Okay, so like this is such a long story. So we went to the appointment in the morning. How did I even get here? I didn't even finish the appointment. Oh my God. Okay. Woo! Let me backtrack again. Okay. I'm just going to have to like split this up. When you see like a big cut in the video and things are like really different, it's because I messed up the chronological order of the video. So back to, so many things happened before that. So back to when I went to the first scan at 8 in the morning. The doctor was so nice and he was so helpful. And he's like, okay, well, you know, this is just a regular check. Like, I'm just a regular doctor who does like regular sonograms. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but you can book an appointment for an early sonogram if you want. And I'm like, okay, great. So he's like, okay, well, let me check you. So I lay on the table and I'm like, am I gonna get pictures? Because like last time when I asked the lady for pictures, she was like, no. Like, she was angry. She said, no, I couldn't take pictures. I couldn't get pictures. She was so mean to me when I was trying to like take pictures with my phone, because she said that was okay. When I was trying to take pictures with my phone, she was just so mean to me. So anyways, back to the story at hand. Wow, my brain is running rampant right now. So anyways, he said to me, okay, let's get you up there. Let's get you on the table. And I'm like, okay, great. So he's like, okay, just pull up just expose your stomach. And I'm like, okay. Like, I had a dress on, so like I just had to pull up my dress, you know? He's like, just your stomach, like as if girls go in there and like rip their clothes off or something. And I'm like, no, just my stomach. So I lay back and Ofer's taking a video and we like look at the screen and there's like a freaking full baby in there. It was wild. Like, I can't even explain to you how wild it was to see like a full baby in my belly, because the first time that I saw it, I was like 8 weeks. I was 9 weeks. I was 8 weeks. Yeah, I was 8 weeks. And it was like this big, like this little teeny tiny blob on the screen. Like I couldn't even tell what it was. Now it was like a head and a body and legs and arms, and it was moving around like crazy. Oh my goodness, guys. I cannot even explain to you how freaking wild it was. Like, excuse me, I was in shock, like complete shock. So Alfred was also like, we were both in shock. And we're like, oh my God, like, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, it's moving around. And he's like, yeah, it's moving like crazy. You just can't feel it yet. It's too small. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, can you tell if it's a boy or a girl? And he's like, not with this machine. He's like, it's too hard with this type of sonogram machine to tell if it's a boy or a girl. But, and I don't want to like make any guesses and be wrong, but whenever you go to the early scan, it will tell you. Like they have a way better machine and they'll be able to tell you. And I'm like, okay, cool. So in the midst of everything, I forgot to like ask for a picture. And he's like, okay, you know, everything is cool. Just has a heartbeat. Everything is great. Just, you know, go to the nurse now. She'll check your blood pressure and your weight and your urine. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I go to get a ticket for the nurse. Like you have to like scan your card again and get like a number. So I got a number and I get called and I go into the nurse and she's very nice. And she's like, what do you need? I'm like, oh, I need to get my blood pressure done. You know, I'm pregnant, this and that. It's my first time at a nurse. I didn't even get blood pressure or anything the first time. So she's like, oh, okay, well, we don't do that until 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay. So it was like 8:15 whenever I like had gotten out of my appointment. I'm like, 45 minutes? Like we have to wait another 45 minutes? So then she's like, maybe you can just book an appointment for later and like just come back at a later time. And we're like, oh, we live really far away. Like we're really not trying to do that. Like we'd rather just wait the 45 minutes, whatever. So we leave to go to the car and to put like all like the paper and the pictures in the car. And I'm sorry, not the paper and the pictures. Guys, I'm so ahead of myself. I don't even know what I'm saying. So we go to the machine to get the ticket for the nurse. We get the ticket. Was that it? No, we go to the nurse and she says, you need to get an appointment. Like all that happened. Yes, I was right. I'm sorry. Wow, this is the worst story time ever. I'm so sorry. So then she says, maybe you can try to get an appointment for later. So we're like, okay. We go back. We have to scan our card again, get another like number to get in line. And we get like the number. And then I looked at him, at Alpha, my fiance, and I said, we didn't get the pictures. Like he said that he would give us pictures and we didn't get the pictures. And he was like, well, don't you want to just like print them out on the phone or something? Like we have the video, we have the phone. And I was like, no, like I want the physical pictures. So I was like, I'm just going to go upstairs real quick. So like run back upstairs to go see the doctor, knock on his door. And there's a lady in there, very pregnant. And she's like, okay, doctor, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can hear her like just about to leave. I see her coming, like I can see the light moving in the door. So I see her like coming to the door. She opens the door and I was like sticking my head in, hey, I'm really sorry, but I forgot to ask, can I get those pictures? And he's like, yeah, we didn't take pictures. Like I forgot. And I was like, oh, he's like, but your husband, he has those pictures, you know, on the phone and in the camera. And I said, yeah, but I really wanted to give like physical pictures to like my family and stuff. Like, is there any way? And he's like, come on. So like takes me back, puts me back up again, puts the sonogram on again, and he takes 3 of the cutest freaking pictures. 2 pictures of like head and body and 1 picture of like their little leg. And I was like, I'm so freaking out about it. When I think about it, it's like freaking crazy. So he takes the 3 pictures, which is so nice of him because he said I can take like 1 or 2 pictures. And I was like, okay. And he takes 3, which was very sweet. And he's like trying to make sure he gets a good one, you know, everything. And Ofa's downstairs waiting for me at this point because we had already taken a number for like the other line that we had to be in. So I come back downstairs and I'm like holding the pictures and I'm like, look, we got the pictures. I'm so excited. And I'm like, we're both like freaking out. We're looking and he's like, and I'm like, it's a proper baby. Like, do you see its head? Do you see its legs? Like, what the freaking heck? Like, this is crazy. So he had already spoken to the lady because I had been up there for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and there was not a lot of people in line because it was early in the morning. And he's like, well, we have an appointment for Monday at 9 in the morning with the nurse. And I was like, okay. And he's like, but we're still gonna wait today to get a number for the nurse. And I was like, what? Like, I'm so confused. Long story short, he had made an appointment for me to get like my blood pressure checked like the day before I leave, which we spoke with the nurse and she said it's not relevant. You don't need to do that, because we actually stayed as well until 9 to go to the nurse to get everything checked. But let me get there. Wait. So it's like 8:30 or something, and he's like, okay, I want to go downstairs and I want to put this stuff in the car. Let's go down and then we'll come back up. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we parked really close. We went downstairs, put the stuff in the car, and then I was like, oh, look, like we were walking kind of like around a little bit because we had some time to waste. And I was like, oh, look, there's this really cute place. Let's go in. We go in and there's this like beautiful, it's like a beautiful bakery, and there's so many cute like macaroons and cookies and cakes and everything. And she's like, hi, how can I help you? And she's so nice. It's called Crumble, by the way. I think it's called Crumble, which is crazy because there's like Crumble cookies, but it's not Crumble cookies, but I think it's called Crumble in Israel, Tel Aviv. And Ofer goes, yeah, we're looking if you guys have anything vegan. And she's like, of course, like half the store is vegan. And we're like, whoa, like we came to the right place. We're so happy. So she shows us everything that's vegan, and she's like going through everything. And Ofer's like, okay, well, what do you want to get? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he like wants to get like this, it's called a yeast cake is how you translate it. But it's basically just like a fluffy like dough cake with like crunch and like hazelnut. It's like what you call in Hebrew. It has like hazelnut and chocolate, like, and it's like braided. I keep going like this because it's braided. It's like a little like, you know, like rectangle. But you can kind of get that anywhere. Like you can find that vegan anywhere. And I was like, ooh, and she's like, I love the chocolate not mousse, like ganache, I think it was ganache. She's like, I love this one. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, let's get that one. And he hands her a card, and I turn around and I was like, oh, you guys have alfajores? Are they vegan? I don't know if you guys know what alfajores are. I'm pretty sure that's in Spanish. I don't think that's in Hebrew. It's like a little cookie, but it's like a soft cookie with like a caramel in the middle, like a dulce de leche middle, dulce de leche. I think that's how you say it. And like I think it's like rolled in coconut or something. I don't know. It's delicious. And I was like, oh, you guys have that? And like I was like, get it, like let's get it. And he was like, so he was just in such a yes mood, and I was like, okay. So she's like, oh, I already scanned your card. He's like, I don't care. So we get the alfajores, and we get the chocolate ganache cake, and woof, we didn't try it yet. We're saving it until tomorrow for Ofer's parents. Like we're gonna tell his parents like not tomorrow, but like Saturday morning. Yeah. So we're saving it for that, but we got that. And then as like we walk out, the girl's so nice. Like I told her I was pregnant, and she was so nice. She was like, congratulations, this and that. Like, you know, they always say Bisha Tova in Hebrew, which is like, it's the right timing, like in the right time. It's always in God's time is how they perceive it. So like it was in the right time, which was really sweet. So we leave, and as we're walking, we're talking, and we look up and we see a friend, and it was just so random because we haven't seen her in so long, and we, you know, keep in touch for like, I've known her since she was 18. She's 22 now. Crazy. And we met like a few months after Oprah and I met. So her and I have known each other for almost 4 years, and we barely see each other. And it was just so random. Like, we saw her walking with a baby. She was like babysitting, and it was just so random. So she's like, congratulations, like I owe you guys congratulations because I haven't seen you in person. And she was like kind of pointing to my hand, but my hand was like near my stomach. And for a second, I thought she like knew that I was pregnant. Like, we hadn't told anybody. We still haven't told anybody at this point. And she was like, yeah, you know, congratulations, this and that. Hold on. Diego? You can eat your bone, but not like that. Sorry, my dog, he's like eating a bone, and when he gets like little pieces, I have to take it away. Anyways, so she's like, yeah, congratulations. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, does she know? And in my mind, we're like looking at each other, and we're looking like all goofy, like, thanks, you know, like we didn't know what to say. And she's like, what are you guys doing here? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually going here to the women's center. I'm pregnant. And she's like, what? Congratulations, this and that. It was very nice. It's just nice to tell people in person, because I really haven't told a lot of people, so I haven't gotten like that, congratulations, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Like, I really haven't told a lot of people at all. So the people that I have told have usually been over the phone. So yeah. Anyways, she left. We went to the car. No, we went to the building. Sorry, I'm really all over the place. Went to the building and went back upstairs, and it was like almost like 10 to 9. And we're like, we should probably get a number or something. So we get a number finally for the nurse, and they call us back within just a few minutes. It was a few minutes before 9, but she took us with no questions asked. She was so nice, like so nice. Her name was Hila, and I wish I knew her last name to like recommend her to people. She was the nicest person, the nicest little nurse. I just loved her so much. And she was like, Hebrew, English, like immediately, because like I think she saw my name, and like she kind of saw me hesitate a little bit when she said a few things. And I was like, well, English for me, Hebrew for him. And she's like, we don't care about him, he's not our patient, we'll speak English. And I was like, oh girl, I like you already. So she was speaking English to me, and she was so fluent and so nice, and she just explained everything so well. And it was just such a nice feeling to have someone like on your side, because I'm gonna be super honest, like, because this is my first pregnancy, it's super new, obviously, but to have everything super new in a different country. And although my fiance speaks the language fluently, he is Israeli, he doesn't know anything about pregnancy, like nothing. So it's very new for him as well. Like, you can say words in Hebrew and he understands you're saying a word, but he doesn't know what that word means. And it's kind of like me in English as well. If I didn't do so much research in pregnancy, I wouldn't know half the things that they say in English either. You know, it's a whole new vocabulary. So the lady was overly nice, like such a sweet lady. And she spoke to me in English the whole time. We did everything, you know, she went over my blood pressure. She said it was good. I asked her if my weight gain was good, and this now I gained like maybe like 6 kilos, something like that. That's kind of a lot. I don't know. I feel like it's like 10 pounds. It's a lot-ish, but I'm like 15 weeks, almost 16 weeks. So either way, I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna gain as much weight as I need to gain. It's just funny when they ask me, like, when I ask about weight gain, they're like, well, what are you eating? And I'm like, oh, I'm vegan. And they're like, okay, but you're not eating a lot of bread, are you? Every time it's like, you're not eating a lot of carbs, are you? I'm like, yeah, I need energy. Like, I am eating bread. Not that I'm eating a lot of bread. Like, I'm not a bread eater, but yeah, of course I eat bread. I don't restrict anything. Anyways, wow, such a tangent. So she gives us all the information. She gives me an at-home urine test to check the protein in my urine, which is fine. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. Sorry, just checking on my dog. and everything looked good, and that was it. I left. She said, you don't need to come to the appointment you made next week. It's a waste. And then they said, okay, you need to call and you need to, I actually spoke again. So we made another appointment at the front desk. Like had to get another number. It's crazy. So the lady at the front desk was so nice, and she also was super helpful, and we just like went over everything, and she told us about you know, how to make an appointment and all of these things, and so did the nurse, and everyone was just so overly helpful. So we ended up leaving around 9:10, something like that, maybe less. And we were going to get my scooter. My scooter was at this place. It's been fixed for like a week and a half, but because we've just been all over the place, it's been very hard to get it. So we finally went and we got my scooter, and everything is fixed now. And Oprah fell on my scooter. Maybe I'll bleep that out because we didn't tell anyone. Anyways, so where are we? We got the scooter, and then we're going to Oprah's work, and we try to find parking, and it's crazy. We park, it's pretty far. It's like 300 meters. No, it's like 400 or 500 meters away from wherever we need to go. I don't know what that is in miles. I would not know anyways, even if I said it. But yeah, so we went there because I forgot that we had to go get my ring fixed. So I was gonna get my ring resized, which it's actually a perfect size, but I was a little bit self-conscious because I thought that my ring might have been a little bit too tight. But because my fingers swell a lot whenever whenever it's very hot, so and also Diego hurt my finger kind of recently, and it was very swollen for a while, so I couldn't fit my ring on it. But I also had like one of the settings, if you look really close, this setting was like, it was like pulled out a little bit. So we just went and got that fixed, and that was like, we just like did so much walking. I went with him to his office. We saw Diego, Azov. So I went with him to his office, and we put the cake in the fridge because that was about to melt. And actually we had walked like, Diego, we had walked like halfway, and then we forgot the cake and the pictures and everything in the car, and we did not want that to sit in the heat. So we walked all the way back to the car, and then we walked all the way back to his work. We had literally walked so much already by this point. Like I did 75 minutes of exercise already today, and it's only 2:30 in the afternoon. So we get to his work, and his work is really nice. They have like a full-on kitchen, and I was like, okay, I need to eat something. I had a little bowl of granola and some soy. I had a piece of whole wheat toast and some peanut butter on that, some natural organic peanut butter, which was so good. And that was like my second breakfast, because in the morning I forgot to mention, because I'm so out of order, but in the morning we got to the place 45 minutes early because we were trying to avoid traffic, and we got there so quick, like really like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We got there so quick, and we sat at a coffee place, and I got like this like phyllo pastry. It's like a long skinny apple cinnamon phyllo pastry, and decaffeinated coffee, because I only drink decaffeinated now, because since being pregnant I switched to decaf, and honestly, best decision ever. Anyways, so I had my second breakfast while I was at Ofra's work, and that was super nice. I had a little bit of granola and the toast, and then I sat around and we're like waiting to get the ring fixed, because they only open at like 11. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. Excuse me. It's like eating little pieces. We're waiting, and Diego, Anyways, it's time to go get the ring fixed. We go, he tells me, like, listen, I think the ring fits you fine. I don't think it's an issue at all, but whenever you're pregnant and whenever it's hot out, your fingers swell. That's super normal, and I don't want you to, like, he's like, I can always resize the ring, but if you resize it and you make it small all the time, it's not good for the ring. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I tried the ring on, which was so funny because I tried the ring on while I was there, and it like fit like it did the first day I got it. Like, it fit perfect. So I was like, okay, I guess my finger's not swollen anymore, but the ring looks perfect as always. I'm obsessed. And yeah, Diego, sorry, he gets me all nervous with this bone. So the ring was nice. The ring was nice. Everything fit. And I said, Ofer, I need to go back because we didn't leave the air on for Diego. And it is like 87 degrees today. And we were so scared that it was going to be too hot, which he probably would have been fine. But we were, you know, he's our baby and we didn't want to have anything happen to him. And I also really wanted to take him out. Okay, Ofer's calling me. I really wanted to take him out before we were gone for Diego. No. Azov. I really wanted to take him out before we were gone for so long. So we decided that it was best that I go home. But I only made it home. So I got a message that I had a package at the post office. As I was on my way home, I forgot to make an appointment for the post office. It was 12:45. And no, it's 12:35, and I can only get an appointment at 12:50, and you can only go 10 minutes before your appointment. So I get to the post office, and for some reason they let me get my number a few minutes early, and they're going really quick, which was super crazy for the post office. And I get my package, and I come all the way home. I park. I go upstairs. Diego's so excited to see me. Wow, I'm really bad at this. I park, I go check the mailbox, and there is a piece of paper that says that I have a package. And it is not the same package that I just picked up because there's like a reference number, and I was like, are you kidding me? I was just at the post office. And when you have multiple packages and you only go for one, they'll see it in the system and they'll tell you, oh, you have another package. And they didn't tell me that. So I was so angry, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back to the post office. So I made another appointment really quick, ran to my car, drove back up, ran to the post office. I was like, I was just here less than 10 minutes ago. I do not understand why I just received this piece of paper in the mail. Like, I don't know what's going on. Long story short, she checks the computer and she's like, oh yeah, you already picked this package up. There was probably some disconnect with the communication. They're very like, oh yeah, well, it happened. Nothing to do about it now. There wasn't anything to do about it. So I ended up, leaving the post office and coming back home. And I told Diego, you need to eat some food, and then I'm gonna take you out. And he didn't want to eat, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just taking you out. Took him out, he went to the bathroom, poop and pee, thank goodness. And then I brought him back. It was like, we were out for maybe 15 minutes. And after I brought him back, I gave him this bone, and I started this video. So it is now 2:40. And I just got a message. Okay, so it's 2:40, and I just got a message from Ofer saying that there is a parking spot available for me at his office, which is really prime, because if I were to go now and try to find a parking spot in Tel Aviv, it'd be like crazy. So I wanted to go to his work early because, oh my God, I didn't even finish the story. Okay. Like, let's just like rewind to the part where I already told you guys that I was on the phone and I got the appointment for 5:30. Okay, so got the appointment for 5:30 as we were on our way to Ofer's work. So I got the ring fixed. We left Ofer's work. I got the ring fixed, and from the ring place, I walked to his car and I came home. Then all the stuff at the post office happened. Then I came home and got the letter from the post office, went back to the post office. Then I came back and took Diego out and gave him his bone, and now he is like all good, just done with his bone now. He's had enough. And I called Ofer. Oh my gosh, so many things happened today. I came into the house after I took Diego out and before I gave him his bone, and before I started recording this, and I wanted to shower really quick because I was so sweaty, like walking around Tel Aviv all day. I literally burned 450 calories already. Like, I've killed this day. And I feel so energetic, by the way. I'm pouring sweat when I come home, and I'm so excited to get under an ice cold shower. Like, I love ice cold showers in the summer. It's literally so freaking hot here. My body is like beaming with heat. So I turned on the shower, nothing, no water. I call over like, you're never gonna guess, there is no water. I don't understand what happened. So he's like, you need to check with someone, like check with the neighbors. And I'm like, okay. So I can hear banging on something, and I go and I check the neighbors downstairs, and I'm like, hey, why don't I have water? What's going on? And she's like, oh, they're fixing my mom's faucet. Like, he shouldn't have shut off your water. Like, you know, he should turn it on. Like, I don't know, let me go ask him. So he's like, I didn't shut her water off. And I'm like, yeah, no, he did shut my water off. Like, I didn't shut my water off. He had to have shut it off. So he came outside, he turned my water back on. I got my water turned on. I took a shower, and then I sat down to film this video. So I've literally been going since we woke up at 5:30 in the morning. We took Diego out around 6, and we weren't out for that long. He didn't get that long of a walk. It was like a half an hour. Poor boy. I feel so bad for him. It's been a really long day for all of us. I am the most energetic that I've ever been in pregnancy. I was so exhausted for the last 15 weeks. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, the last 15 weeks, I have literally been falling asleep, slumped like this on a couch, like passed out, so freaking tired. And I just feel energized now. So right now, it is currently 2:42, and our appointment is at 5:45. Okay, so that's 3 hours. I have 3 hours to get from here to Tel Aviv to pick up Ofer, and then to go to North Tel Aviv, which, if anybody knows Tel Aviv, we almost would have rather booked an appointment in Haifa, because Haifa, at least I can drive on like a nice main road and I don't have to drive inner city. Tel Aviv is crazy to drive in, like crazy. It took me 20 minutes to get home from Tel Aviv to Rishon. It'll take me 20 minutes from picking up Ofer to go to the north of Tel Aviv, which is literally like 5 kilometers. So we have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. It is almost 3, and I really need to eat, and I really need to finish this video because it's literally so long, and I'm so sorry for all the jumping around. So I hope that everything made sense. I guess I will show you guys my bump, even though I don't really have a bump. Ooh. It's like really not there. Can you see it? It's like really tiny. Okay, I'm just gonna, okay, do you see that? This little bump? That's my baby. That's my freaking baby. Can you believe it? You can see, this bump has never been so bumpy before. But that is because there's a baby inside. So, guys, I want to thank you so much from the absolute bottom of my heart for watching the full video. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate you more than you know. It really means the world to me to watch my video from the start to the end. And it just lets me know that you like me and you guys want to see more of me. So if you do like these kind of videos, storytime videos, or just like kind of crazy rambling videos, or pregnancy related videos, mom videos, which is gonna come eventually, please subscribe. Please subscribe down below. I'm gonna go eat some shakshuka that I made yesterday. I'm getting hungry again, and I really, really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart, seriously. And I'm sorry about the banging, that they're still like fixing the hose, and yeah. But we got like 45 minutes of quiet. So I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment letting me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to see from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.